This is Kimberly Wilder reading at the Boog Festival. Witness. The biker roars along the highway, his motorcycle growling like a bear, an ominous bear on a big, wide motorcycle. Behind him, his slender ponytail with a tuft at the end skips ridiculously in the wind, the dainty handkerchief of a princess waving back and forth, up and down to rows of weary drivers. Alone. I like to be alone. When I am alone, I am more beautiful. I do not need to meet some expectation, be somebody's image of butterfly woman or flower girl. In nature, everything has its charm, even crinkly iguanas and the opaque wings of insects. Alone, I judge myself by these standards. In my own mirror, the thin skin around my eyes is not age, but the translucent beauty of a rabbit's ears. Gray circles are not gray at all, simply shades of purple and blue borrowed from the sky over the lighthouse. Cellulite, with no one there to name it, reveals itself as beautiful ripples, the worn edges of mountain peaks reflected in waves of polished stone. Alone, I see the white spots on my fingernails are not Grandma's lies, but swishes of seashell clouds in a salmon-colored sky. The awkward cup of my heel is not bone or foot, but a perfect fit with the palm of my hand and unexplored edge of my body. By myself, I know that all folds and imperfections are the awesome imprint of an extraordinary leopard or the draping skin of some exotic creature, because when I am alone, even the iguana parts of me are beautiful. This is to Ian. Voicemail Obad. Awake, no words. I love you. Goodbye. Painted Blossoms. This is a great poem for the pandemic. Don't think for a blue minute that peace lies in dreamy eyes of a smiling Buddha blinking to you across a field of pink blossoms. Peace is no quaint scene, not warm aroma of homemade cookies, nor the sound of luggage placed on holy ground. Peace is constant motion, careful balance, endless vigil, rush of a purposeful journey. Peace is the courage to speak out, shatter comfort, demand justice. Peace is not the people around you suddenly linking arms and taking up song. Peace is the cumbersome process of controlling your temper to smile at ornery colleagues and small children who contradict you. That Buddha is not napping in his field of delicate blossoms. He's resting from a conflict resolution conference with his roommate. He is considering the next move he will make to stir petals into beauty. Wake up to the people around you, he calls. Steady yourself for a long life of patience, sincere communication, bravery, love. When you hear him, you will experience the vital peace of an artist's hand working paint onto huge canvases. Nowhere to Hide. Unfortunately, this could be dedicated to many people, and there's another sad story in the news. Nowhere to hide. When the monster comes in your dreams, what do? Do you run? Don't run. The monster will catch you. Your life will be done. When the monster comes in your dreams, what do? Do you hide? Don't hide, and don't try to speak. The monster destroys those who are weak. When the monster comes, should you fight? Don't fight. The optics will not seem right. A glimpse of the monster spells out your end. Dead or alive, you will be condemned. When the monster came, what did? You left your bed. You started to run. You know how it ended. The monster won. And then the monster planted a gun. This one is Pandemic Blues, and it was written just a little while ago with my husband, Ian Wilder. So this is really a poem from us to each other. Isn't that very romantic?
Yeah, very romantic. Pandemic Blues.
We're writing this poem together in this house during the pandemic. We don't have much choice. The house is small. Get out of the doorway. The pandemic is long. I've fallen in and out of love with you 3 times since it started.
There are only so many home repairs that you can do to distract yourself. There are only so many YouTubes that you can watch. 2 years in, you finally give up and share a piece of paper and a pen, like that long-lost newlywed poem we wrote together in a car before a Conklin Barn gig.
Nothing is lost on this pandemic. It works on every nerve. It corrupts every cheery smile. It puts wedges and winces and second guessing between every social interaction. Every relationship is either too close or too far. Even my mother avoids us. The pandemic used to chase me to parks and beaches for fun. Now it just corrals me in the house to hide from others and shop online. The quarantine is hovering in the background of every breath. It begs us to eat and eat and eat.
As we are in the, 5th wave, there are times that I feel that we are only bound together by the contrariness of everybody else's pandemic rules and the superiority of our own household rules. When we are too cowardly to admit that we are as powerless as King Canute, yelling at the waves to stop.
Oh, another literary reference. I have heard so many of your tedious stories these past 22 months or so. I am not sure I can take one more, so please keep the rest of this poem simple. No science references, John Lennon origin stories, or aha commentary on child rearing. Here are some other things I can't take one more of. Our public library changing their mind if the toddler classes are in person or virtual. The CDC telling me which masks are preferred or work best but I shouldn't hoard them. People who are too afraid to meet you at the playground one day and show up 3 days later with a tan from Disney World. Asking you to move because I need to reach the sink. I guess this happened before the pandemic, but it happens so much, so very, very much, with all the eating and locking down and hiding out. Someone is always standing at our sink, and someone else is always in need of a glass of water to go with the food they should not be eating again so soon after lunch.
Eating is solid, consistent, real. A reminder that we still have a sense of taste. Something to hold on to in the waves of change. More than just the deltas and the omicrons. There was a sudden decision to shut down a workplace and sudden transition to remote work with all the quandaries about fairness. There was walking into Stop and Shop to buy sympathy cards for 4 different families at the same time and finding half the cards sold out. There is the constant calculus to cancel a birthday party or a fundraiser.
Yeah, and there are new social constructs to learn. Drive-by retirement parties and Zoom birthday parties and hybrid fundraisers, and asking yourself, is anyone going to show up in person for this event? And if they do, will they all get sick and blame me?
There were judgments about whether we needed to clean our groceries or leave delivery boxes outside for 48 hours.
And wondering, what if there was chocolate in that box?
There was hand-washing singing until the skin was as raw as our nerves. The worry about the vulnerable loved ones and how much to avoid them. The question of where to get toilet paper and are we hoarding?
You took so long to write the last part, you made me miss the end of my Times social media clothing sale on the computer. This pandemic has been too much about computers and missing things, but as you can see, the pandemic would not have been so bad if you had not made long academic references to the classics or told those depressing daily death stories about the stationery store. So that's it. I'm done with you, with the pandemic, and even with eating. There must be something left online that takes me far enough from you and this pandemic to have a moment of freaking peace.